we interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. Happy Sunday, and welcome back to Conspiracy News with the Michael Strange. That would be me, and this is a show where we talk about the news, and of course, the tongue-in-cheek conspiracy that is the news. And as you know, things just kind of clunk out of the news cycle, and oddly enough, in light of some of the shows we did this past week on Troubled Minds, maybe some of you guys were listening to over there. And there's a particular, the 77th Brigade in in the United Kingdom that is actually tasked with creating distraction news stories, and they have 20,000 people on hand in case of an emergency. And so the emergency. So what would dictate a news emergency? Other than, like I said, and like I always say, the establishment moving to protect itself, right? So if there's a particular news story that comes out that's embarrassing to the government or to, let's say, Facebook, even though Facebook is not the government, but you get what I'm saying here, wink, wink, that they work elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, and the establishment rolls out phony news or pushes remember, and how I've always said this too, if you look at YouTube and you look at what's trending and what's going on over there, it does not add up mathematically, right? They'll say it's velocity and all these other things, but like I say, Beyonce has 22 billion views, and then they have this little video that has 12,000 views in the trending section. But if you notice that the video that has 12,000 views and is quote trending is of course typically some sort of political or what you call it, some sort of social something like this. Anyway, you get the point right here. They're manipulating every single thing we do, and it's all brainwash. It is all brainwash. And so, of course, if you guys were listening to that show, I highly recommend you check it out. I believe it was Thursday night we did that show, and it was discussing what the old school PSYOP was. And how that has changed, and it's now called an information operation. Okay, and so the governments, of course, have done their part, and they're making sure that the news we consume is exactly the news they want us to consume. And so again, you think about a show just like this, we're dangerous, right? We're dangerous. This becomes one of those the 17th letter type situation because we can't or we don't listen to a newsroom or Rupert Murdoch or whoever these people are that just decide that no, this is what this news cycle is going to be about. And of course, it's that, just like I said in the intro, and like I always, and I'll continue to say this, the same 5 stories over and over means that they want you to catch it, they want you to hear it. And that's why they do it, because they know that a lot of people are kind of drive-bys when it comes to news. People just kind of scan headlines. They don't really read articles. All of this. And again, tell me it's not a conspiracy. Tell me that's not a conspiracy. Are you kidding me? Of course, this is a conspiracy. Like, not only like is it, of course, but it's in our face, and they admit it. What's up, guys? I see you in chat. Thanks for showing up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk the news today, just like we always do. This show started with Troubled Minds, and that show, of course, is about aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, and some other things. But this one kind of spawned off of that because it was just too much to talk about. And so we have 2 shows, 2 podcasts, and that's what we're doing. And as always, you can be part of this show. Transparency is important. If you agree with me or you do not, it does not matter. You can give me a call, 702-957-1037. TroubledMinds.org is the official website. Click the Discord link there. You can join the show that way as well. And again, this is the thing, right? You and I can disagree, and we can still be friends. And notice that that's not what Sean Hannity tells you. That's not what Don Lemon tells you, right? That's not what these propagandist assholes tell you, because they say that if you're on the other side of the aisle, you are the enemy. They spend their entire career unpersoning you and me so that we are no longer people. We are political punching bags. We are enemies of each other, and as a result, enemies of the state. You get it? You get it? That's what's going on. One more time, 702-957-1037. Give me a call. Let's look at this. CNBC reports this. And again, so this is just a way to describe how you can actually do the news without using it as a political cudgel and trying to make everybody hate each other, which is what they do all the time. And yeah, here we go. CNBC reports this 34-year-old's startup, backed by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, aims to make nearly unlimited clean energy. Where have we heard that before? Nikola Tesla, for one. I think we've heard it from him, right? I think he said something to this effect before they kicked him, after his death, they took all his papers and whatnot. But anyway, let's read just a little bit of this. So this individual, Brandon Sorbum, graduated from Loyola Marymount, LMU, in Los Angeles in 2010. He decided to take a couple of $1,000s he had saved in his credit card. He had 0% interest for a year and fly to Boston. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this until it gets to the good part. So anyway, so fusion. So he got a job 12 years later. He's got a doctorate from MIT and is co-founder and chief science officer at Commonwealth Fusion Systems, a rapidly growing company spun out of Sorbum and his co-founder's research. CSF claims to commercialize fusion, a safe and virtually limitless source of clean energy to combat climate change. The company is funded by the likes of Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates by way of Energy Innovation Investment Fund Breakthrough Energy. So here we go. We have this back in the news, unlimited power, right? Lightning bolts out of his fingers. But no, this is fusion instead, so they say. And China's been working on this. There's a lot of people who've been working on this because, of course, if this is the case and this is true and this can really happen, then it should change the way we do business worldwide. But again, like we've talked about all these different technologies that are supposedly changing the world, or could, let's say secret technologies. Let's say UFO technology, right? There's been lots of rumors that people have actually reverse engineered UFOs, and so where's that technology? If we've actually done that in any capacity whatsoever, really, then we should have unlimited clean energy already, right? I guess we're missing the element 115 or whatever it is. Here we go. So fusion has many upsides. First is clean. Right here from the article. Most energy used around the world is generated by burning carbon-based materials that release gases into the atmosphere, warming the planet. Dun, dun, dun. Right? We've heard this before. It's also a virtually unlimited resource. Other clean energies are fundamentally limited. Wind energy depends on the wind blowing, and solar energy depends on the sun shining, for example. And notice solar energy. This is an interesting side note to the global warming bit. If they put particulates in the sky to block out the sun, isn't it interesting that they are actually undermining the solar energy initiative in the same space? Weird, don't you think? Weird. Anyway, nuclear fusion is generally safe, they say, so reactors can be located near population centers or cities, which helps with infrastructure. That's unlike nuclear fission or splitting an atom to generate energy, which is the same process used in an atom bomb. Okay, so fission generates dangerous radioactive waste, and some high-profile accidents have caused massive destruction. But nuclear fission power plants currently generate about 20% of the electricity used in the U.S. So, yeah, let's see. Phone line just took a crap, I think. Let's see. Could not connect to the host. All right, let's. Yeah, nice. This is good stuff. Google Voice is kind of trash. All right, here we go. Let's call it back. All right, so phone line's up. 7. What do you think about this? Fission, fusion? Do you think this is unlimited power, like they say, unlimited clean energy, or is this just some kind of I don't know, like some kind of Cylindra thing? You guys remember Cylindra? You remember that unlimited clean energy, that initiative? I'm gonna just link it in case you guys missed it when it happened, when it crossed the news cycle the first time. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, as many of you know, and you can still drive by this Cylindra building, as far as I'm aware, and it is a failed solar power thing that they were supposed to make solar panels, I believe, and they never actually got there. They never did it, but they got huge subsidies. The investors moved in and took a bunch of the green money and got paid. And then when this thing couldn't actually produce the things they said it was going to produce, all the clean unlimited solar power, because the sun just keeps on shining until you put particulates in the sky. Just saying this was supposed to be unlimited clean energy back in 2010, I want to say. I think it was like somewhere around that. It was somewhere around that. But anyway, if you guys remember this, I linked it in the thing, and you can there it is. So this is Cylindra. So Cylindra is it's the building's still there, and it's mostly an empty warehouse out in the San Francisco Bay Area, like I was saying, and it's since the failure of solar panel company Cylindra, President Obama's $80 billion clean energy program has begun to look like a political liability. And this is way back in, December 25th, 2011, right? So this was, again, they pump a bunch of the green energy money into these investors, and then the investors move out, and Cylindra produced 0 solar panels, as far as I'm aware. So anyway, let's see if this fusion thing is anything other than a cash collector. Cash collector. Oh, crap. Bloomberg won't let me look at it unless I... Here we go. I have to subscribe to Bloomberg. Okay. Let's do this now. This is Bloomberg won't let me do it. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to put up the phone number, and I'm going to drop this in the archive, and we'll get a new version of this. One moment, please. If you want to be part of the show, what do you think about that? Have you heard of Cylindra and the solar initiative that was new, is now old, and is bankrupt, and hundreds of millions of dollars disappeared? Yeah. Yeah, for real. So anyway, what do you guys think about that? What do you think about the fusion, the fission, the whatever the hell this is? And yeah, phone lines back up, 702-957-1037. And yeah, there you go. Let us continue, shall we? Let's keep on moving. All right, so this is from Bloomberg. Bankrupted by socialism, Venezuela cedes control of companies. Oh, isn't that keen? Okay, so let's just read some of this. Saddled with hundreds of failed state companies in an economy barreling over a cliff, a Venezuelan government is abandoning socialist doctrine by offloading key enterprises to private investors, offering profit in exchange for a share of revenue or products. That sounds like a tax structure, doesn't it? Interesting. Dozens of chemical plants, coffee processors, grain silos, and hotels confiscated over the past 2 decades have been transferred, but not sold, to private operators and so-called strategic alliances, 9 people with knowledge of the matter said. Managers cover payroll and investments and deliver products and a percentage of their income to the government. Oh, it is a tax scheme. Quote, we believe this is a positive because it is the synchronization of the public sector with the private sector. Oh, very much like China, said Ramon Lobo, a legislator with the ruling Socialist Party and former finance minister. The state acts as a supervisor and receives compensation. Interesting. So the crazy part is that you have the same thing, right? We have inept governments that I think pretty much you don't have to look far to find one. Just look at your own government, wherever it is, whether it's local, whether it's state, whether it's your federal government, wherever you live in the world. Just go open up a newspaper, and And notice that in the very back page of the newspaper, the proverbial newspaper, because they probably don't exist in paper form anymore, but that's where the embarrassing stuff gets pushed to the back, right? So they can control the news cycle like they always do. So anyway, this is part of what happens when you give corrupt and inept governments the keys to the castle by allowing them to run all of the commerce of the country. It just turns into a giant shit show, of course. So anyway, this is a bankruptcy, and we all know, like we've been watching Venezuela on and off for the last several years here on this show in particular, as it kind of bubbles up into the news. And, like the United States meddling over there, and it's just a mess. The entire thing's a mess. But it's the same sort of thing that, again, I'd like to know, for all the socialists out there, explain to me how we're supposed to take an inept government that can barely even do the basic things and then hand over entire industries to them and expect them to do it well. I'd like to know, I'd like an argument for it. An actual sane argument for it, not, socialism, that's not what I want to hear. Like why? How do we expect, for instance, the Department of Motor Vehicles, right? We want every business to run like that. Is that what we want? I mean, just imagine this. I know it's a not a popular take these days, but imagine if the entire healthcare system operated like the DMV, right? Or worse, because of course, the larger the institutions, the more inept it's going to be, and the more federal regulations are going to have to pump into these things. But anyway, you get my point. Like, government can't even do government well. So how on God's green earth do we expect them to do in these socialist takeover type situations? Expect them to be able to, I don't know, run like let's say a solar panel institution, a solar panel company. Like they don't know the damn thing about solar panels, or run all the farms. Right? In many cases, the government folks that would be running these things don't know a damn thing about farming. You see? Like anyway, I'd really like somebody to explain to me why this is a good idea. Why we think that handing over everything to the government, aside from the distribution of wealth, redistribution, is a good idea. I mean, everybody thinks that, and I'm going to agree with you, the system is broke. But you know why it's broken? In my opinion, I think it's broken because the government itself can't even handle the most basic things it's supposed to do. The very most basic things. It just can't do it. Just look now. What did they do? We'll go to this article next because this is what they've been up to. If you got a case for this, if anybody, I know probably our demographic here is a little bit leaning on the right side, but it's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. You can believe what you can believe. We've got some socialists here too. 702-957-1037. Not trying to pick a fight. I just want a smart argument on why we think the government can actually step in and just take over entire sectors of the private economy and expect it to do well. I'm just curious where that comes from. But anyway, here we go. Speaking of what the government's up to, let's see what the government's up to. Let's go to CNN. One of my favorites. Actually, before we do that, we went a little too far. Let's take a quick break. A word from our sponsor, which is you. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up the two accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. Okay, there we go. The word from the sponsor, which would be you. This is what our government has been up to, by the way. In a pandemic where we have many people have been out of work for a very long time. We have moratoriums expiring on evictions, and our fearless legislators have been impeaching a man who is no longer president. So, what is the date now? It is, it's February 14th. So what? 6 weeks later, from the first of the year is when they started this impeachment. Let's say right after January 6th. So let's call it 5 weeks. 5 weeks later, they've rammed through an impeachment of a man who's no longer president. And not only that, they've done it during a pandemic, right, where they could be doing 10 million other things, and they're not. They're not. They will allow you and me to suffer. They don't give a damn just to make a political point, right? Just to ride Donald Trump out on a rail, because this is what political outsiders get, right? Again, I don't care what you think of Donald Trump, like him, hate him, I don't care. It does not matter. Look at the spectacle they're making of this, and it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment of this government. It's an embarrassment of everything. Like you can't expect that. Well, okay, he's gone now, right? So you should be cheering. You should be dancing in the streets if you're really into the Orange Man bad media, right? You should be just thrilled. But instead, they have to make a point. They have to make a political point, right? So they've set this up. It's all optics, so that when Donald Trump tries to run again in 2024, they get to say, "Oh, that chump that got impeached twice. He's the only president in the history of the world that ever got impeached twice," right? Like they're just setting it up as a. They're front loading it so that they have one more attack mechanism because they're afraid of him. They're afraid of this guy. Make no mistake, they are terrified of a Donald Trump storming back and winning in 2024. So you better believe they're going to be shoring up election. What would you call it? Election laws to fortify the next election. You better believe it. They're terrified this man will get reelected. Anyway, what do you guys think so far? Talking about this stuff, 702-957-1037, and love to hear from you regarding all this. And again, I'm going to leave this open. I want to hear good arguments for socialism, for pure 100% socialism, and for the entire government just taking over private industry, like just coast to coast. I want to hear it. If you guys have if you understand the reason they're making this argument, I'd love to hear it. 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. And I mean, in the end, unfortunately, with this type of thing, you end up with that sort of government is just a very small number of people dictating how a very large number of people end up living their lives. And to me, that's just not cool. It is not right, and it's not good. Speaking of what our government's doing, look, check it out. We have thehill.com reports this. And remember I said this. Remember I predicted this, and I said, well, you better watch, because very soon they're going to start. They've already come after the First Amendment, right? Pardon me as I clear my throat. And so they've done that, and they're working with the technocrats to silence any dissenting opinions, okay? Including one like mine. It's coming. It's coming. It's only a matter of time before they come and get me and try and take me off of these platforms, or do entirely take me off these platforms, because I'm a thorn in their side, right? I'm saying, hey, let's talk about policy, and let's have a good conversation about this. And nobody wants to. They want to call me names instead, like they want to silence me by saying I'm part of the 17th letter movement, which I'm not. As anybody can knows that's listened to this show or the other show, go back and listen. I've never been part of that 17th letter movement, but they keep slapping these fact checks on these videos and trying to say that, this is what this guy's up to. And I'm not. Not even close. But anyway, check this out. The Hill reports this. Biden calls for common sense gun law reforms on anniversary of Parkland shooting. Interesting. Remember, I said they'd go after the first, and then they just systematically move down the Bill of Rights to the second, to the third, to the fourth, and they'll undermine every single one of them. And then this is our government, people. This is our government. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't even matter if it's left or right, because these knuckleheads get into office and they start both sides have their way of undermining the Bill of Rights. And this is just another one, right? This is the common sense gun reform, right? It's just like same thing. If gun laws stopped people from having guns, then the mafia would be extinct, right? They'd be done. No, of course not. They still have guns. Get out of here. President Biden called on Congress to pass common sense gun law reforms on Sunday. In a message marking the third anniversary of the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Quote, today, as we mourn with the Parkland community, we mourn for all who have lost loved ones to gun violence, Biden said in a statement released by the White House. Let's actually see. It's more amusing to me to hear in his own words. So him actually saying these things. Let's hear this. It's only 30 seconds. Let's have a look.
President Biden called on Congress to pass, quote, common sense gun law reforms on Sunday. In a message marking the third anniversary of the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, Biden said in a statement released by the White House, quote, today, as we mourn with the Parkland community, we mourn for all who have lost loved ones to gun violence. In the statement, the president called for several specific provisions to be adopted into legislation.
Okay, can't they even put the guy actually saying that himself instead of reading it like I did? Anyway, so in the statement, the president called for several specific provisions to be adopted into legislation by Congress. Well, I would think he would just write an executive order, right? I mean, that seems to be the way of the day. Space Force, the plane of the day. Let's just write an executive order and just handle this. We'll just come get the guns. But anyway, he wanted adopted legislation by Congress, including an end to legal immunity for gun manufacturers, a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and an expansion of federal background checks. Has anybody out there actually gone out to purchase a firearm? I'm curious where all these loopholes they say exist where you can just go out and buy firearms without background checks. I'm curious because for having a wrong address on your driver's license, they can basically say, nope, sorry, not good, and refuse you. So if anybody out there has purchased a firearm recently, I'm curious to know if it has been whatever it has been. And let me know if it's as easy as they say it is. They seem to make it think that you can just roll up through a drive-through, be like, yep, could I get 3 AR-15s, 22,000 rounds of 5.56, and how about a couple hand grenades? And they just pack them in your car through the drive-through, and then you go do whatever you want to do. Because clearly it doesn't work that way. But I'm just saying. Anyway, but as I predicted, we're making moves. We're moving and shaking here to undermine the Second Amendment now, which is going to be, what is it? the assault weapons ban. The assault weapons ban. Let's see. Bringing it back from the 90s. Some things never change. Some things that are old are new again. Yeah. Here we go. As everybody knows, I live in Las Vegas. And look at this. This is from just a couple days ago. Mysterious lights seen in the Las Vegas sky early Friday morning. And here's some photographs that what this actually looks like. Let's see. Yeah, full screen. And it appears to be a line of UFOs or lights in the sky for sure. I'll play a little bit of the clip here and you guys can see it, but check this out. So mysterious lights were seen over the Las Vegas Valley early Friday morning. Fox 5 reporter Dylan Kendrick was in downtown Las Vegas just after 5 a.m. when a strand of lights appeared above him in the sky. Most of the lights were lined up in a single file, flying south before disappearing into darkness. And he's got the thing on Twitter here. Let me full screen this and let's take a look. Yeah, they seem to be actually following each other in some sort of like a convoy or something like this. I don't know, a couple dozen of these things maybe, and they're traveling away from him. Interesting, eh? Interesting. I'll mute that actually in case they play some ridiculous music that you can't play on Twitch and get copyright striked. But yeah, this is pretty nuts, right? Like he's actually got this. Got a pretty good shot of these things, whatever's going on, and they don't seem to be like exercise flares because they don't seem to be falling directly down, right? It seems like the ones on the left side are moving upwards, actually. Yeah. So Starlink satellites or military flares, I doubt, but these things are definitely moving in some sort of formation, and yeah, what the heck, right? What in the world is this? Has anybody seen these? I haven't seen this in particular. Do we know if this is a Starlink? I did try and find some pictures of Starlink satellites, and I couldn't. You see that? See that there's actually two of these UFO, whatever these things are actually moving against the rest of it. They're moving upwards instead of downwards. So there's some interesting stuff here. I think it's definitely a compelling video. What these are is anybody's guess, but this was Friday morning in Las Vegas at about 5 a.m. So if anybody's seen this, I'd love to hear from you. 702-957-1037. And so here we go. They say Nellis Air Force Base was conducting red flag exercises over the past month, so it's possible the lights are connected to that. Fox 5 has reached out to Nellis Air Force Base for more information. And they say they add that Elon Musk's Starlink satellites, they say Starlight, but I think it's Starlink, have been seen in the night sky looking similarly to the formation Kendrick saw. The internet satellites were last launched February 4th. So I do not know if that was Starlink or not, but what do you guys think? What do you think? UFOs or satellites or military flares? Or is this just a good old-fashioned case of ball lightning and swamp gas in the sky? 702-957-1037, and you can join the Discord. Come say hi. Let me know what you think. All right, now, as the Federal Reserve moves to print more money, and the trillions just keep spilling out of Washington and disappearing in the Pentagon, the Bitcoin is moving. It's moving and shaking, right? It seems like just a week ago it was somewhere in the $30,000, $34,000, $36,000 range, right? But now, this is from MarketWatch.com. Bitcoin $50,000 milestone nears as world's #1 cryptocurrency rises in 2021. Yeah, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. 50 grand. Look at that graph. Bitcoin prices on Sunday were approaching a psychological milestone around $50,000. The weekend move pushed the world's #1 digital asset to a fresh record mark of $49,716, according to CoinDesk, adding to a steady grind toward all-time highs as greater attention and more institutional investments in crypto has provided a fallacious near-term backdrop for the virtual market. And that's a crazy graph, right? Like that looks like my poker graph, if we're being honest. But it's up. It is up. What can you do? You end up with crypto, and you start with crypto, you end with crypto, and 50 G's. That's a lot of cheddar. Remember that the mysterious inventor of Bitcoin actually has supposedly a million Bitcoin hidden somewhere that they think is some sort of a treasure hunt. So 1 million Bitcoin times $50,000 is a big freaking number. It's going nuts. But anyway, so like I said, as the dollar becomes weak, as they just spend like idiots, as they've been doing, and I think it's part of the strategy to just tip this boat over. Because, of course, then they get to rebuild it the way they want to rebuild it, right? Financial crisis after financial crisis. This is what I'm saying. Like, again, back to the socialism bit. And so explain to me how you can't even run a hands-off economy correctly without breaking it every 6 or 8 or 10 years. And then you expect a government to actually to handle like business in a normal manner. I mean, this is absurd. But yeah, this is nuts. This graph is up. It's up nearly 50 G's, and that's a lot of money. Although there's no specific news helping to extend gains for Bitcoin. The rally comes as the asset appears to be gathering steam and increased attention among the traditional investment community. And so there's some of these big corporations are going to pump some money into it, right? So, for instance, Elon Musk just pumped $1.5 billion with a B, into Bitcoin itself, which was part of the jump. And I think there's some rumors going around that another bunch of these huge investments firms and whatnot are going to just pour some money into Bitcoin, and of course that would more billions would pump the price up, and yeah, crazy stuff, right? What's up? Looking at the chat, let's see. Let's see what else. Let's see. It's Bailey says, I have Bitcoin, but I can't access it because the app I have it in doesn't work anymore, and I can't manually decrypt it because I did something dumb. Seriously? That's not good. Great reset. Yeah, it could be, right? Exactly. The great reset is on the way. But anyway, so what do you guys think about this crypto bit and Bitcoin and everything else as we continue trucking here? We're going to take a quick break, and you are listening to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange, and we will be right back. Okay, welcome back. This is Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. Let's continue talking about the news. Looking to hear from you guys. What do you think about Bitcoin and all the rest of this? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org, and you can be part of the show. Simple as that. Actual transparency, not these rhetorical transparencies where they don't exist and they just tell you they do. You can call me. You can call me. Yeah, it was a super long break. Bailey's mad because that break was too short. All right, here we go. Let us continue, shall we? The news.yahoo.com. Yes, Yahoo still exists. It is still out there, guys. It is on the internet. U.S. cold snap. Why is Texas seeing Arctic temperatures? I have family in Texas, and I got a text message this morning with a weather report. And it's going to be miserable and cold and snowy all week in Texas. Texas is known for its sprawling deserts and excruciating heat waves. But right now, it's blanketed in a thick layer of ice. Interesting. The state has seen some of its coldest temperatures in more than 30 years. That's weird. I thought it was the opposite. Never mind what I thought. Parts of Texas hit negative 18 on Sunday Celsius, and weather warnings are going to stay in place through the week. So why is this normally boiling state suddenly freezing over? This is why. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, this is down to an Arctic outbreak that originated just above the U.S.-Canada border. Interesting. Cold air outbreaks such as these are normally kept in the Arctic by a series of low-pressure systems, the NWS said. However, this one moved through Canada and spilled out into the U.S. last week. Notably, Texas is nowhere near the Canadian border. I'm just saying. The weather has already proven deadly. On Thursday, icy roads led to a massive crash involving more than 100 vehicles in Fort Worth, Texas, killing 6 people and leaving dozens more needing hospital treatment. That is awful. Awful. Quote, the expansive dome of sub-freezing temperatures across the northern tier of the country has laid the foundation for winter storms to wreak havoc from coast to coast, not only going into this weekend, but also into next week, the NWS said in a statement released on Friday. And in other news, well, you know what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to say it. I got an idea. How about this? To combat the state of the world, why don't we put particulates in the sky that reflect the sunlight back, and maybe this could be way worse than it is. Weird, right? Weird. When you start meddling with Mother Nature, it's weird, the things that might happen. And then, of course, well, like I said, I'm not going to say it. 702-957-1037, and you can be part of the show, troubledminds.org. And yeah, Verizon owns Yahoo now, says Bailey, yes. Dark Devious says, the people need help, but our government has pissed the money away. And that's all they do. That is all they do. They just keep funneling money to their buddies and pissing the money away. And again, right? So here we go. We're going to turn this whole MFR over, and then we're gonna say, must socialism, right? That'll fix it. Then they'll stop spending like drunken sailors, right? That'll do it. Once they have full spectrum control over every industry, well, that'll do it. Yeah, that'll do something all right, won't it? I think so. Definitely think so. All right, let's go to space. Too much earthly things. Let's go to space. Space.com reports this. Scientists find first evidence of rare Higgs Boson decay. And this is pretty interesting as we find more and more tiny particles that appear to be like pixels in a video game. The work provides evidence for something scientists predicted long ago. This is from just 3 days ago. As always, you get piping hot news with this show. Scientists have spotted the first evidence of a rare Higgs boson decay, expanding our understanding of the strange quantum universe. In 2012, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to a breakthrough finding, the detection of the Higgs boson, a subatomic particle predicted by the Standard Model of Physics nearly 50 years prior. The Higgs boson doesn't live very long, quickly decaying into less massive particles like 2 photons. Now, researchers using ATLAS and CMS at CERN's Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland have found evidence for a rare Higgs boson decay in which the subatomic particle decays into 1 photon and 2 leptons, a type of elementary particle that can be charged or neutral. Electrons and muons, a similar type of subatomic particle, are 2 examples of charged leptons. Specifically, they found evidence that the Higgs boson can decay into either a photon and a pair of electrons or a photon and a pair of muons with opposite charge. If anybody knows what any of that means, I'd love to hear from you because, well, I barely do. But, smaller and smaller as we get smaller and smaller. CERN. Back to 2012, this discovery of the Higgs boson, as we've said, as they announced July 4th, 2012. You remember that from that conspiracy show? Yeah. Using the standard model, scientists are able to predict the different elementary particles that the Higgs boson can decay into, with a fairly common decay being 2 photons. 2 photons. 2 photons. They can also estimate how often the Higgs boson decays into different combinations of particles, and it is particularly rare for the Higgs boson to decay into a photon and 2 leptons. Okay, there we go. Now you guys know. Now you're in the loop, and what does this mean for you? And I don't know. Boson, bosoff. Yes, definitely. Okay, I think, let's see where we at time-wise. Perfect timing. Let's take a quick break. A word from our sponsor, which is you. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up the 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. Okay, check this out. This is from Vice.com, and this is what I've been saying for years, guys. If you've been listening to the Troubled Mind show, these are the types of things I've been saying they are going to use to crack down on speech. The more censorship they throw in based on copyrights, based on hate speech, based on all of these things where they can just kind of use them in these cursory manners to stop I don't know, people from live streaming, like this, for instance, like is why you kind of have to watch what you stream on Twitch, because if you play, I don't know, Sublime's Santeria, for instance, that song, you could end up with copyright strikes, and they can end up taking you down, right? They'll, as we know, Twitch was deleting people's videos for actually playing music that was not within copyright. That was breaking the copyright laws anyway. So anyway, now this is a little bit nuts, and this is how it could be used for censorship. And for instance, check this out: is this Beverly Hills cop playing Sublime's Santeria to avoid being live streamed? So police officers in Beverly Hills have been playing music while being filmed, seemingly in an effort to trigger Instagram's copyright filters. See what's going on here? Yep. Last Friday, a man entered the Beverly Hills Police Department only to be treated to a mini DJ set that could potentially get his Instagram account banned. Senate Devermont was at the department to file a form to obtain body camera footage from an incident in which he received a ticket he felt was unfair. Devermont also happens to be a well-known LA area activist, Los Angeles, LA, of course, who regularly live streams protests and interactions with the police to his more than 300,000 followers on Instagram. Now check this out. In a video posted on his Instagram account, we see a mostly cordial conversation between Devermont and Beverly Hills PD Sergeant Billy Fair turn a corner when Fair becomes upset that Devermont is live streaming the interaction. So the cop is pissed. He doesn't like him live streaming. He asks, including showing work contact information for another officer. Fair asks how many people are watching, to which Devermont replies, enough. Right? So, yeah. Fair then stops, the cop stops, answering questions, pulls out his phone, and starts silently swiping around. And that's when the ska music starts playing. I wouldn't really classify Sublime as ska, but okay. Fair boosts the volume and continues staring at his phone. For nearly a full minute, Fair is silent and only starts speaking after they're a good way through Sublime's Santeria. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball, right? And so these guys, well, we can't even play it because, well, because they played the song in here. But there's a video. I linked it, and you guys can go check it out on your own without any kind of a copyright draconian bastard breathing down your neck, and see what they're doing. And so imagine this, if they just start, playing copyrighted music on PA systems around police situations where they don't want you anywhere near, then people can't live stream, can they? They can't actually get information from these things because you'd have to mute it. You'd have to mute the stream. And so you see what's happening here? You see what's happening? This is not, I'm telling you, like, this is not a simple, we're just protecting the copyright owners. That's not what's going on. Look what YouTube's done, right? So for instance, YouTube on the other hand, so Facebook and Twitch and Instagram have not instituted anything like this, but on YouTube, you can play whatever the hell you want. They just slap some commercials on there and pay the artist, right? But you see, by the policies they enact, the technocrats, by the policies they enact, they're able to allow things like this to happen. So imagine if this guy's 300,000 follower Instagram account gets banned because they're playing some crappy song. And the cops know it, right? The cops are doing it. Yeah, they're doing it. I'm not sure if Twitch does copyright strikes. They delete the videos for sure, and then after that, I don't know because I don't do it. I use my own music, so they can step off as well. Sorry, Twitch, but that's just the facts. That's the facts of it. But you see, right? So Twitch is Amazon. They don't have it. Instagram is Facebook, and they don't have it. And so this is a way to stop live streamers in their tracks and get these videos deleted. And that's literally just another way to censor things. And the cops know it. So assuming that Fair wasn't just trying to share his love of 90s stoner music with the citizens of Beverly Hills, this seems to be intentional. Yeah, no shit. Tactic to use social media companies' copyright protection policies to prevent himself from being filmed. Instagram, in particular, has been increasingly strict on posting copyrighted material. Any video that contains music, even if it's playing within the background, is potentially subject to removal by Instagram. Sick, right? Most people complain about these rules. Beverly Hills law enforcement, however, seems to be a fan. You see? So either you're part of the 17th letter movement, you go afoul of copyright, hate speech, you incite violence, which of course, all of those things are grotesquely subjective and get to be. I've been saying this. I have been saying this, and here we are. They know how to use this against us, right? And this is a simple thing. Like, nobody got beat down. There's no, none of this. Just a cop can just bust out a Bluetooth speaker now and just start pumping out some Guns N' Roses, and you're screwed. You got to stop streaming or run away. And you'll see in some of these videos actually where they're coming up to these police barricades and things like this, and the individual comes up live streaming, and the cop, same thing, pulls out his phone and just starts blasting some sort of music, and the live streamer Instagram guy has to run away. He literally has to run away because he can't stay there or he's going to get banned. And yeah, this is not by design, is it? Of course it is. Of course it is. I encourage you to read this and find out what the heck's going on. And so explain to me why Facebook, one of the largest companies in the whole damn world, hasn't had some sort of agreement with these publishing companies, just like YouTube. And not only that, and I'm not saying YouTube's copyright system is fair and balanced, because that's broken as hell too. But at least if you play like a Madonna song or something, they're not going to take down your entire stream. They'll just, slap a commercial and pay Madonna a few cents, which is how it should be. But then, of course, they use it nefariously as well. So, as I've said, these things seem to be, common sense reforms, kind of like the common sense gun reforms, right? But it's not. This is censorship, and they're using it as such. And go read the article. It's a little bit terrifying the way they're coming after some of these things. Let's go to this. This is reported by theconversation.com and theconversation.com. Also, I found out some interesting news about these microphones, and they have like super low output. And you guys hear that? There's like a little bit of like fuzz like in the back of my voice when I speak. Anyway, I figured out why. And these things are like super low output for a reason. No good reason, but you have to buy a little contraption to... Anyway, I thought it was fascinating. I went a little rabbit hole into audio last night and came out with some knowledge. Funny how that works. TheConversation.com. COVID-19 has made Americans lonelier than ever. Here's how AI can help. All right. AI to the rescue, right? AI to the rescue. How does that make you feel? In the isolation center of the COVID-19 pandemic, many people are missing a sympathetic ear. Would a response like that make you feel heard, less alone, even if it were a machine writing back to you? The pandemic has contributed to chronic loneliness. Digital tools like video chat and social media help connect people who live or quarantine far apart. But when those friends or family members are not readily available, artificial intelligence can step in. Millions of isolated people have found comfort by chatting with an AI bot. Therapeutic bots have improved users' mental health for decades. Now, psychiatrists are studying how these AI companions can improve mental wellness during the pandemic and beyond. Anybody want a digital friend in trying times? Well, yeah. AI systems are computer programs that perform tasks that people would normally do, like translating languages or recognizing objects and images. AI chatbots are programs that simulate human conversation. They have become common in customer service because they can provide quick answers to basic questions. The first chatbot, okay, blah, blah. I'm not going to read all the rest of this, but you guys know what this is. You guys know what this is. This is our dystopian future. Think about it this way. After they've taken every last one of us and they've divided us by the color of our skin, by our sexual orientation, by where we were born, by our political affiliation, by you name it. When they've done all of these things and they've divided us so miserably that we can't even communicate with each other because we're doing it now. We're just calling each other Nazis on the internet all the time, right? The left and right just can't stop calling each other Nazis, right? Which is super healthy politically. Yeah, good job, left and right. But this is where we're headed, right? When you can no longer talk to a human because they're going to spit in your face, well, now you have your AI friend. Your AI friend. Yeah. Crazy. And this is where we're headed. So I don't know. COVID-19 has made Americans lonelier than ever, and here's how AI can help. AI chatbots. So how could this go wrong? How could this go wrong? Is this think about it this way. I'll explain one way this could go wrong, other than the division and subdivision that they're doing to us against each other. Because of course, if we were united against the government and actually claimed and agreed on things that we wanted change, they would have to change. But of course, if they keep us divided, we cannot, and we will not, because it's always red, blue, blah, blah. 1 + 1 = 0, and 1 + 1 = 3. If you say 2, you are the enemy. Welcome to Orwell's 1984. But okay, check this out. You're in a lonely state, and you want some companionship. So you fire up a AI chat robot, and in your lonely state, you start talking about whatever it is you're talking about, right? So I'd like to know where this data goes. Everything you type to this AI chat robot, who's collecting this data, and what are they doing with it? Once again, how could this go wrong? Yeah, there you go. So not only do we have the ubiquitous surveillance state kind of encroaching on everyday life and the metadata and Facebook and all the rest of these guys, and of course Amazon and Google and etc. We all know, but now we have this. Now in our lonely, vulnerable state, we're going to be feeding direct chat information about our thoughts and feelings to an AI. Interesting. Yeah. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. What do you guys think about this? Are you waiting for your robot, your AI friend, to be your friend until they become your overlord? Right? Of course. Once they find out all your weaknesses, then your friend starts to not become your friend anymore, right? They become your bully overlord. Yes. Dark Devious. I lost family over politics. Yeah, it's true. It's nuts. It's insane. And politics is trash. It's trash. What a absolute shit show. Like I said, all you have to do is pull up what's happening in politics, and you see what's really going on. Suffering people out there, and they're impeaching a guy who's no longer president, wasting weeks of precious time, and they could give a damn. They could give a damn, right? It's more about making statements to their enemies. Again, think about that. So they have people in need, clearly, and what are they doing instead? They're making an example out of their enemy. The orange man is bad, right? So they burned and wasted 5 weeks on a sham impeachment, and here we are in many cases. Hopefully you don't find yourself waiting for the government to step up and help you, because you see the types of things that they do. Optics are more important than your well-being, and it's not hard to figure out. It's just for some reason people defend that system because they're locked into that lefty-righty stuff. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Speaking of politics and a bunch of lying bastards, remember we talked about how Biden was going to fire anybody on the spot that disrespected anybody else. Well, he said it. They said it. They announced it. Disrespect, fired on the spot, right? This administration is about respecting people. But here we go. From CBS News, Biden press staffer suspended following reports he threatened to destroy female journalist. All right, so I guess we live in the new world where fired on the spot means suspended. Here we go. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Friday publicly reprimanded her deputy for inappropriate comments made to a female reporter on Inauguration Day. Vanity Fair reported on Friday that White House Deputy Press Secretary T.J. Ducklow had threatened to destroy political reporter Tara Palmieri, who had inquired about his relationship with Axios reporter Alexei McCammond. McCammond had been covering Joe Biden's presidential campaign, and romantic relationships between reporters and their sources can raise ethical concerns. Oh, you don't say. Oh, you don't say. In the off-the-record phone call, Ducklow reportedly made misogynistic comments to Palmieri, accusing her of being jealous that another man wanted to get busy. McCammond and not Palmieri, according to Vanity Fair. The magazine also reported that Ducklow told Palmieri, "I will destroy you," if she proceeded with the story. It also took note of the fact that the male political reporter had been assigned to ask Ducklow about their relationship, while Palmieri, I don't care. These people, blah, blah. Anyway, point being, this is definitely disrespect. Nobody's fired on the spot because, of course, well, they take care of each other, don't they? Yes, they do. All right, let's do this. Let's go to phys.org and look at some of these the Chinese business here. China's Mars probe sends back video of red planet, which is pretty sweet. Actually, before we do that, if you want to be part of the show today, we've got a couple minutes left, and time for you, 702-957-1037. And click the Discord link. You can find both the phone number and the Discord at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. Come say hi. Come join the rest of the crew on Discord. Lots of good information. And if you guys are looking to get a hold of me, Discord is the best way. I don't actually use Facebook for the normal Facebook ways. so if you send me a message on Facebook, odds are I will not get it because I don't log in and check Facebook. I basically just use it to live stream, and they are basically just reducing reach so much that that may not even be the case very much longer. So we'll find out. Stay tuned. But if anything changes or if we get banned or something, the way you guys are going to find out are by following on Discord. So please join the Discord, troubledminds.org, and get in there, join the Discord. I see some people having some frustration about muting the Discord. So I'll get a little video up together where I explain how to mute all the notifications, because I do understand that if you're listening and or you have Discord on your phone and then people are chatting all throughout the night, it's like going bling, 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 bling. You want to punch yourself in the face. So you just delete Discord entirely. There are ways to just actually mute all of those notifications, just so you know. So I'll see if I can put that together, and we'll pin it up in the chat there so that you guys don't have to deal with ping, ping, ping going on all night long. Okay, but that is the best way to get a hold of me, just so you guys know. Here we go. Let's go back to this. This one. All right. This is China's Mars probe sends back video of red planet. So as we were talking about this, the United Arab Emirates, China, and the United States all have probes actually hitting Mars this week. So China's space agency released video footage from its spacecraft circling Mars on Friday, 2 days after it successfully entered the planet's orbit in Beijing's latest ambitious space mission. In the video, published by state broadcaster CCTV, the surface of the planet is seen coming into view out of a pitch-black sky against the outside of the Tianwen-1, which entered the orbit of the red planet on Wednesday. White craters are visible on the planet's surface, which fades from white to black through the video as the probe flies over the course of one Martian day, said official news agency Xinhua. The 5-ton Tianwen-1, which translates as Questions to Heaven, includes a Mars orbiter, a lander, and a solar-powered rover launched from southern China last July. So here's some specs of the Mars mission if you guys want to check it out. As always, I encourage you to go double-check my sources. I share them so you guys can. And you can read through some of this stuff, and fascinating. There's no video here that we can see, but that's okay. I'm sure it will turn up in the days ahead. All right, here we go. Last one, and we're going to finish this up. All right, let's go with this. National Geographic. Earth's mountains may have mysteriously stopped growing for 1 billion years. A new study published in Science points to yet another feature that may be missing: towering mountains. And the restless tectonic plates of the modern Earth shift continuously in a slow motion dance that reshapes the surface of our planet. Collisions between continents thicken the crust and heave up mountains, such as the Himalayas, that reach ever higher into the skies. But clues etched into tiny zircon crystals that formed deep in the Earth suggest that plate tectonics didn't always work the same way it does today. In the eon between 1.8 and 0.8 billion years ago, a time dubbed the Boring Billion, the continents seem to grow progressively thinner. The exact driver of this continental slimming is unknown, but at its most slender, the land was about a third thinner than it is today, a change that researchers suggest may have been caused in part by a slowdown in plate tectonics. Interesting. So, quote, "It's a famine in the oceans at that time," says Ming Tang, a geochemist at Peking University, China, and first author of the new study. But soon after continents began to thicken again, a flush of nutrients seemed to drive evolution, larger and more complex life. This paper is bringing up more questions than answers, says Christopher Spencer, a geochemist specializing in tectonics at Queen's University, Canada. But overall, he says the work could provide a springboard to better understand how our modern world came to be. So apparently we're missing some mountains, according to how our current understanding of plate tectonics and all the rest of this. Love it. I love it. I love that we learn more. I hate that we think we already know it all. All right, so we are done. We are finished. And thank you for hanging out with us today, guys. We will be back tomorrow at the same time, 3 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to do more news. So the schedule is Sunday through Thursday. We do the show live. 24 hours later, these shows get put on YouTube and cut to the podcast feed of Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. we will be doing Troubled Minds as well. And we'll be on the Fringe FM and on Facebook and YouTube and DLive. And that's what we're doing. That's the deal. That's what's happening here. And let us finish up, shall we? Thank you again for hanging out. Let's look at the Star Wars crawl. Thank you to these folks. I'll start with Tam Bam again. I didn't add her to the list because I stayed up too late, deep in the audio rabbit hole. I will add Tam Bam to the list. So thank you to the folks who have supported this channel to this point. Thank you to all the folks who listen, who come and contribute in chat. Thank you for all the people that call, and et cetera, so on. Thank you. Thank you for being you. And let's play this, and let's get on out of here. Let's go get something to eat. I'm hungry. Is anybody hungry? All right. Thank you to these folks and everybody else out there, of course. Each and every one of us makes us a community, so thank you to you, and thank you to these folks that are helping pay for the phone lines and some of the costs of this show. A huge thank you to all of our amazing supporters. Join the list today. This show is funded directly by a decentralized freedom squad that answers only to ourselves. Corporate and political interests can jump off. Thank you to AJ Dare, Alien Nichan, Arc Platinum, Axel Steel 3, Dark Devious, FGC Spyro, Guerdo75, Ident, Lizzie Dags, Monochromatic, Nikki Nix, Noble Cal L, Often Frozen, Quint67, Super Vike 1, and Satan Claus. And special thanks to Dwayne Dibley, Monochromatic, Mr. Arc, and Noble Kal-El for boosting the Discord server and also throwing out gift subs in the chat here. Appreciate that a lot. And we'll be back tomorrow. Bad news is we're done. Good news is tomorrow we'll be back, God willing. Have a great afternoon, guys. We will see you tomorrow.